Hey, what's going on, gang? What's up? Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday evening to all of y'all, to all of my fellow nerds out there, my friends, everyone out there in the geekdom. If you're seeing my face right about now, it's pretty obvious. I'm filming another episode of Eddie G's Comic Culture. Thank you guys for stopping by. This is a show that's geared towards it. It's a foreign program. If this is your first time stopping by, let me just give you the rundown real quick. I discuss basically anything regarding comic books, movies, music, games as well, collectors, any collections going on as far as video games, toys, action figures, anything as far as statues, anything that's worth like to me that I find that I deem interesting, I guess you could say. But anything that I find dope and fresh enough for me to talk about, I always go ahead and I make it a point to make an episode and revolve around regarding and that and other various topics as well. But with that being said, thank you guys for stopping by. And if this is your if this is if this ain't the first time that you guys reminded with me, you already know every episode I start off with my shout out. So first and foremost, special shout out to Black Apparel. We're still sponsored by the great folks over there. So make sure you check out their website at www.blackapparelblk.com. They got some brand new drip out. It's the first day of fall, mind you. So the hoodies is gonna be on deck. They got some brand new stuff coming up. Special shout out to my brother Kevin out of New Jersey. Also my Instagram family, Channel 3 Productions, AJ Reacts. Who else? Nerdy Blurb TV, all of my fellow geeks out there. Thank you guys, especially Nerdy Blurb TV. I cannot thank you guys enough for the invitation to the fandom initiative. I really appreciate that and the people that I've met along the way. Um, Believe me, guys, I've been playing catch up with a lot of stuff, so I will be on your. I'm on your channels. Believe that. I'm watching your videos. I always usually leave my comments on you guys' videos, letting you know that I'm checking in. But I haven't been doing that as of recently because I've been having a lot on my plate, so I do apologize. But you will be catching me, and we will be having these conversations back yet again. And also, while I'm at it, I wanted to discuss a. Also, I wanted to put a special shout out for a friend of mine, Zalim Diaz. She's actually in the running for the Maxim Cover Girl. There's actually a vote going on the website right about now, and if you guys actually have Facebook, if you have a Facebook account, you can actually vote for her on there for free. And there's actually two ways that you can actually set. There's a free vote that you can get daily, and there's another one where you can make a donation, and it's like it's like maybe like two. I'm not too sure the amount of votes, but it does count for like more than one, maybe like two, three, or something. I'm not too sure, but it's for the Wounded Warriors Project for homeless. If I'm not mistaken, it is also for wounded veterans that are homeless. Correct me if I'm wrong. You know, like I said, I was just reading up on the organization myself a little earlier today to try to brush up on that. But it's definitely for a great cause. She's a wonderful person, beautiful inside and out. And make sure you guys help, just give her a hook up. I'm gonna show you right now. It's actually at maximcovergirl.com/2019/Zalim-Diaz. So I'm gonna put the shot right here real quick, just so you guys know. It's right there. Damn, I hope you can see it. She's very beautiful, guys. So make sure you go ahead and she's currently, I think she's at second in her group. She's actually at second place, but try to do your best to help out, man. She's gorgeous. She deserves it. So yes. With that being said, let's go ahead and start tackling the day. Well, I wanted to discuss because all right. First of all, happy Batman Day to all of my friends out there, all of my DC fans, DC holidays. Yes, Batman Day. I don't know why we haven't gotten an official Superman Day, but I actually got to Google that right about now because I'm pretty sure there is a Superman Day. But happy Batman Day to all my Batman fans. My brother in heaven, I know who's watching down right about now. I know he's a huge Batman fan. It's his 80th anniversary, on top of the 80th anniversary. And I know a lot of the major cities across the country right about now tonight are actually going to be displaying bat signals across. So it would have been cool. Unfortunately, I'm not close to anything like that cool anymore. So I couldn't get a good chance to see that myself. I would have killed to see it if I was still in New York City right about now. But I think it's either New York, Pittsburgh, and a few other spots. I'm not too sure. But congratulations on another, on a beautiful 80 years of wonderful detective comic stories as a great superhero, second only to Superman, of course. but I know I'm gonna. We're not gonna ruffle any jimmies today. I'm not gonna rustle any jimmies today. So definitely, it's pretty great. It looks like we're actually moving forward a lot. I've been with the Robert Pattinson Batman. Robert Pattinson has been actually speaking about it, and he's tried the bat suit on and so on and so forth. They haven't specified as of what as of yet, but I'm looking in to see what's actually. Also, some few developments off of that. But Catwoman is supposed. They're looking at. They might be. They're thinking of actually of casting Rihanna as Catwoman. Like, why of all people? Like, I hope not. Please. Like, I mean, I knew they were just. It was either Rihanna. It was either Rihanna or somebody else. They were just tossing in the fray for Catwoman. Now, my main beef is I don't care if it's I don't care about any other actors as long as they're good. You know what I'm saying? But Rihanna, I mean, come on, seriously, is Catwoman, or I think it was Poison Ivy, somebody else they had for Catwoman. But either way, people were like flipping their shit over the fact that I think it was actually a person. They were actually looking for a person of color for Catwoman. That's what it was exactly. I'm sorry, brain fart. But yes, people were losing their shit because apparently, like Warner Brothers was considering, or the studio was considering for Catwoman a person of color, which was retarded to me in any sense of the word. And excuse me for using that word, but I just when it irks me in such a way, that's so stupid. I mean, because if you know if you're a Batman fan, like if you're a true Batman fan, if you follow Batman across all forms of the medium, and I mean even back from his campy days, even in the '60s, I'm talking about the Adam West era, and that specifically, I'm going to hone in on that one in particular. Catwoman, Eartha Kitt Eartha Kitt had the most iconic take on Catwoman, and she was a black woman. You know, she actually made such a great emphasis on the character in itself because nobody, mind you, nobody was at when she took on the role. Nobody, she was the one who owned that. When she would roll the tongue every time when she would speak and she would do the perfect. She made that was all Eartha Kitt, and she pretty much just like dominated that role ever since. And so she was a fan favorite for over 50 plus years, mind you. So people like were literally losing their shit at the fact that like Warner Brothers was actually considering putting hiring an actress, a person of color, to play the part of Catwoman, which was stupid as all shit. But either way, I'm liking how the movie's coming together. It's definitely it's slow. It's been a hell of a slow process, but it's definitely coming together. And I didn't want to touch up on this even the last time on my last episode because I do have but I don't know if I did, but apparently Andy Muschietti is now directing the new Flash movie. Andy Muschietti, he directed the last two It films, and it's a little strange because this is like the second time that Warner Brothers is utilizing, well, DC actually is utilizing one of their horror film directors. The first time was for Shazam when they got David Sandberg, and then no bullshit. This would actually be the third because James Wan. That's right, James Wan directed Iron Man. Wow, Aquaman. Excuse me. James Wan actually directed Aquaman, and he's from The Conjuring. He's from The Conjuring fame as well. So his films, a lot of DC's, like a lot of the upcoming DC projects, are being helmed by horror directors. It's a little strange to me, but a little interesting too at the same time. But I'm not complaining. I mean, shit, David Sandberg did a fantastic job with Shazam, so I'm really not mad at all. And I'm actually interested in seeing as to how Andy Muschietti is going to really take on this whole ordeal. There's been a lot of rumblings going on, a lot of rumors going on under the surface about about the status and the future of the DC cinematic universe. I don't call it the DCEU anymore because that was something that was spawned during the Snyder era, and he's no longer there. So for that being said, I don't even call it that. I just call it the DCCU, and it's very interesting right about now because there's a lot of stuff going on. Apparently, the full cast as well of the Suicide Squad has been completed. Um, the title card with the cast attached and everything has been released, and James Gunn has made the note of saying that not to get too attached. So that means we're going to be losing a few of those people in that film as well. Obviously, it will not be any of the major headliners Margot Robbie, but 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 it looks it's looking like it's taking shape, and it's literally forming into something else that's about to depart away from what it was originally. And that was the, I just call it for what it's worth. I'm just gonna call it the Snyderverse. It's definitely coming together in a way to part, to separate itself from the previous centuries, the Man of Steel, the Bat, the Dawn of Justice, and the Justice League films. It's doing a lot of that to like really divide itself from them. So right about now, it's a crazy kind of waiting game, because everybody's biting their nails to see what the hell kind of move is gonna make. Because it's like, ever since Warner Brothers has been so precautious ever since everything happened, and even though they are getting they have been getting some fairly good results in return. They're really taking their time to really move slowly and pace themselves as far as as far as making any announcements and unveiling whatever future plans they have. In the meantime, though, the bits of information that we're getting is actually making me a little bit is actually making me more hopeful. Now, I've read some negative reactions online, of course, and quite frankly, some of them are legit concerns. But mostly I find that I mostly find a lot of their concerns, their complaints, really stemming from the fact that they're not, the Snyderverse is no longer in play anymore, and they're sour grapes about it. So with that being said, it's kind of like I'm just kind of like, it's in one ear, out the next. And as far as anything is concerned, we don't really have anything until the studio actually confirms it themselves. But it's actually looking pretty good. I'm hoping that we get some sort of trailers coming out soon enough for Wonder Woman 1984 and Birds of Prey. Um, Even though Joker's about 2 weeks away from release, I mean, still, I would love to see some more footage of something else coming out, especially that Birds of Prey. I'm really not sold on it as of yet. I do have to. I'm sorry. I have to echo the sentiments of other fans with that. I'm really not solid on Birds of Prey. Huntress and Black Canary. They just, how is it that this movie looks completely centered on Harley Quinn? And if that was the case, then they should have just made it a Harley Quinn film with featuring so on and so forth. And it's off to me. It's off-putting to me. And the fact that they're doing certain changes, it's really just like that poster. Like, I saw the poster. Like, I'm referring to the poster release, and some of it looks good. And like, you look at the poster, and like, it's like, you look at the poster, you can't tell whether you want to appraise it or if you want to critique it, because part of it looks like it's actually really good, and the other, like, certain parts of it just looks like some really bad Photoshop crap that they just threw together in the middle, with somebody's computer and decided to shit it out. But it's not giving me. I'm not getting any great confidence or good vibes off of Birds of Prey. Hopefully, a full trailer will change my mind on that. But at the moment, I can't say that it will. So with that being said, it's just whatever. Some news on the comic book front. Finally, they made an announcement as to who's going to be taking over writing duties on the Batman title after Tom King's run. Apparently, it's going to be brief, though. I think it's only going to be from 86 to 100. They got James Tynion the fourth. I mean, all I'm going to say is this. I've read a few of his stuff. It wasn't that, I'm very picky when it comes to writers. If you can't grab me with the story within that first panel in the first page, we're gonna have problems. I know sometimes, it's not always the case that's how it always is, that's how it always starts, because I understand the concept of storytelling. A lot of times, it builds up to something. But if it's just not engaging enough for me to jump into, and James Tynion and both Tom King have had that exact effect on me. I'm not so sure if forgive me if I'm mispronouncing the man's last name, but I don't find myself engaged into any of their work. Like, and what gets to me with DC is that Okay, so if you're not going to be taking, excuse me, if you're not going to be taking in any new writers at the time being, if you're not going to be accepting any new writers at the moment, because I know a lot of friends. I know a lot of friends, and that have tried consistently and keep getting those letters back in return from DC themselves. And if you're not going to be taking any new writers in, how about facilitating your core, facilitating the offices? Like, I don't understand why the big three, your core three characters, the Trinity, should not have nothing but the best of the best as far as their top tier writers are concerned. There should be no debate on that, none whatsoever. And with that being said, because my next gripe is coming up with Brian Bendis. Now, Brian Michael Bendis, we were all skeptical as far as him getting on board from leaving Ultimate Spider-Man and Marvel Universe, joining DC and getting on a Superman book. And it looks like it's just, I haven't been keeping up with that as well because of it. And I'm gonna be honest with you, some of his stuff is hit or miss. I've read that he's now gonna do another status quo change of Superman, and the world knowing Superman is Clark Kent, and this has all been done before. Like, this has all been done before. That's nothing new. I thought, what the hell? I thought like he was gonna shake things up a bit. Like, I really thought I really thought they were gonna shake things up a bit and make it much more, you know, I don't know. Like, why? Like, I want the quality of writing to be as great as it was in the early 2000s, in the late 90s, and late 80s as well, mid to late 80s. Like, why can't we, like, this era of comic books, has been I don't know. Not that that's why I'm looking at. That's why I'm like heavily looking into a lot of independent titles right now, because these main two publishers are going crazy. But Brian Michael Bendis seems to be doing some status quo change with Superman. His plans for this December coming up is that the world is going to know that Clark Kent and Superman are the same, one and the same. And again, like, these gimmicks do not work. Like, I don't understand. Like this just reeks of a bad gimmick to me. I don't like it. I mean, most ideas like that, when they release these stories, like, a lot of the times it's, the reception is usually hit or miss. And I don't want to be a troll, and I'm not trying to be none of that, or a hater, or anything of that nature. But what I appreciate more than anything else is originality. And when it comes down to stories like that, a story that's been done like that, you gotta sit there and ask yourself: can you really trust a writer like Brian Bendis to tackle a story like that again? At this stage in his career, the way he's, that this is the main question for me. Like, hey, is that really a good idea? Is he really the type of writer you want to try to rehash a concept like that again? That's been done to death over and over again. And I think the answer for that one is pretty quite, it's quite simple. It's pretty clearly no. But I mean, I'm open to surprises. I'm open always to surprises. So hopefully this turns out to be a lot better than what it sounds like. But it just reeks of desperation for me as far as that's concerned. And last but not least, Rambo: Last Blood has been released. I did not get to see it. Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to see it today. I will be watching the film, though. Mark my words, I will be watching the film. Um, I knew the reviews came in, and I knew they were gonna be bad from the get go. There hasn't been any good Rambo movie since the second one, honestly, and shit, even that's pushing the envelope. Um, what had me was the original writer. Oh my god, I forgot. Damn, I was reading on this early this morning, and I was like, man, the writer for the original novel just was embarrassed over at he did not like. First of all, he does not like the last entry of the Rambo and the Rambo franchise. Um, he says he was embarrassing to have his name associated with something like that. Uh, I mean, what can you expect? The direction, first of all, I don't even understand. First of all, Rambo wasn't really, if you follow the books, Rambo wasn't even supposed to have a part two. He dies at the end of the book. Spoiler alert, sorry guys, but the book's been out for the longest. But yeah, he dies at the end of the book. So the fact that they made sequels completely goes against everything about it, because he was never an action hero. He was supposed to be some sort of a vagrant, struggling with PTSD, coming back from the war, and so on and so forth. And that's exactly what happened. But Rambo, in this case, like I said, they kept him alive and they pumped out sequels after sequels. And even the fourth one, as dated, as late as it was in the game, it still has some sort of a dignity, considering the graphic violence depicted at the end of the movie. But it had some sort of messages that resonated, and it really did, But it really did. It really kind of, it was still like it was a general stupid film. The plot was just, ridiculous, but it had its moments where it was shining. It had its moments. It definitely had its moments. Apparently, it looks like it lost a lot of that was lost on this one. I guess Stallone just said, "Fuck it," you know what I'm saying? They just like, this is just about. I mean, it's classic '80s. When you really think about it, at its core, the sequels are basically, gravitated more towards the '80s, and '80s violence and action was, a lot of war movies and shit like that. When you look at Commando and action stars from back in those days, this is nothing new. This is just actually much more advanced, and it's a lot more gory than what it was back in the days. But it's honestly, I didn't expect too much. I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna front. I wasn't expecting a 5-star review for Rambo: Last Blood. Let me just put it like that. I know what I'm expecting when I walk in there. I know what to expect to watch when I'm watching the movie. So I'm not gonna, there's a good part of it. You're really turning your brain off when you're watching shit like that. You're not there to think. You're there to be entertained. And I believe that's just mainly the case. The end game for Rambo, although, altogether, as far as these movies are concerned, anyway. But definitely, I'm gonna try to check it out, and I'm gonna try to check out another classic this week, The Maltese Falcon. I know it's one of the greatest. I keep hearing all these things about it being one of the greatest war story films of all time, and you know me, I love black and white movies, so I'm definitely gonna check that out and give my review on that. So that being said, I'd like to thank you guys for tuning in, checking in with me, and all that great stuff. If you have any questions or comments, you already know, hit the comment section below. Let's have a conversation. If you like what you see, hit that like button and subscribe. I hope you guys are having a great weekend. Enjoy yours. Peace and blessings. Stay safe.